Well, do you know who you are? Have you forgotten who you are? It's easy for that to happen in the midst of life's challenges. Things hit us that want to take us down a peg, that want to tell us something other than the true story about ourselves. Unfortunately, it's up to us to try to keep that balance and restore it when it gets lost. So today, we're talking about doing exactly that on the Daily Dance.
Welcome to the Daily Dance with your host, Brad Richardson.
Welcome back. Looking forward to this episode today. We have a lot to unpack in what is a very simple subject of just remembering who you are. And this has to do with identity, it has to do with uh, honestly assessing and breaking down your own skill set and accomplishments, but doing it in a way that is honest but still encouraging, because even being honest, there are many ways to interpret things that we've gone through. But before we get to that, I do want to do our daily dance. The daily dance is a place for encouragement. It's a place for getting skilled up in very simple, applicable ways in your career. And one of the things that we do, and the reason for the show's name, is we do a daily dance. The daily dance is just designed to loosen you up, get your mind right. We don't take ourselves very seriously. It is kind of silly. That's the point. We don't want to take ourselves seriously. We want to take what we deal with, what we try to accomplish, very seriously. So, with that in mind, get yourself ready, get your teammates ready, and let's do our daily dance. And there we go. So, hope you danced up and ready to go. I sincerely hope at some point, if it isn't happening already, that there are those of you that maybe you're on break at work and you have a chance to do that with your teammates. Uh, at work, uh, it would do my heart good to know that that's happening out there. I hope you're having a good day. It is Thursday, June 11th, and so glad that you're here. So, in looking at uh, today's topic of remember who you are, uh, it's it's just so easy to get plowed by life and to get run down and beat down. And if you've gone through enough experiences in your career and in life, we do a pretty good job of putting up our front and defending ourselves and toughening up to go ahead and get through the hard parts of life. And when we start to have doubt creep in, we get tough, we get harder, maybe we run from it. We we create our own narrative of who we are. There's things we tell ourselves, but unfortunately, the doubt remains. Um, Imposter syndrome is a real thing, and this is part of where that comes from. And if anyone's ever said anything negative about you, that lasts so much longer. That, for whatever reason, is usually much more easy for us to believe about ourselves, the negative stuff, rather than the positive. And so we forget. We forget who we are. And this is dealing with one side of it. Okay, yes, I know we can lie to ourselves too, right? And convince ourselves we're something we're not. So that's another topic. That's the other ditch. But we're talking about the things that come at you, especially, if you're going through job loss, different career changes, unintentional career changes, let's call them that. You can start to wonder: am I the person? Am I in the employee? Am I as skilled as I thought I was? Am I as good as I thought I was? As you get continuous rejections from the different applications you put in, it can wear away at you, and that's okay to admit. That's okay to admit. At some point, you start to feel a bit like Miracle Max from The Princess Bride, and his and his dilemma.
We need a miracle. It's very important.
Look, I'm retired. Besides, why would you want someone the king's stinking son fired? I might kill whoever you want to make the miracle.
He's already dead.
He is, huh? I'll take a look. Bring him in.
And I think that's I can relate. I can relate to that feeling, can't you? Hasn't there been a time? Hasn't there been a moment? Um, Maybe there hasn't been yet. It took me a while to get there. And in several different seasons of life, there's times where you're pressing ahead. I do know the value of feeding yourself, just the positive about yourself, whether you're there or not. The fake it till you make it mentality. There's some value in that. That can work as long as you eventually make it and don't just keep faking it. Um, but you can get to that point, just like Miracle Max, where why would you want to hire me? I'll probably destroy whatever it is you're wanting me to fix, or whatever it is. You can have those days, those moments where you cave, and everything in your internal self-image can kind of come crashing down. And so we want to speak to that today. And the first thing that you need to do in that circumstance is what? You need to recognize the lies. You need to recognize the lies. It's just so easy. Again, it's so much easier, I think, to accept the lies than it is the truth, because for most people, there's those fears underneath that you're not what you think you are. You're not what you hope you are. And it really is hard to do a good self assessment anyway. We're biased and we have blind spots. And so that's very, very hard. But you need to recognize the lies. You need to, uh, to be able to hone in on the things about you that are true or not true. And initially, that means you have to have a commitment to the truth. If you want to recognize the lies, you have to have a commitment to the truth. Learning the truth about ourselves is not a bad thing. It can be a hard thing. It's not a bad thing, because if there are things in our personality or character or whatever about us that we need to change, if there's something that's harming others or it's harming ourselves, we need to know that. We need to be willing to see that and know that and accept it. And believe me, I know it's hard, but that's the first step. And once you're willing to do that, then you can start to recognize, though, the lies about you. There are going to be things. We can get in a self-critical mode where then suddenly we're so willing to accept uh, things that aren't true about us. And that's why the truth is important, because we want to, whatever needs correction, we want to accept it. We want to receive it. But that doesn't mean everything, all those negative criticisms that come your way are true. Sometimes they're false, and sometimes they're levied by people with wrong motives, or who are short-sighted, and who weren't in a position to make that judgment on you anyway. They didn't know you well enough, and so you need to feel comfortable recognizing lies. I think that's a lie. I'm not going to receive that. I'm not going to accept that. Um, and that's step one to getting yourself out of that hole. Having an honest assessment. This isn't a time for just taking the negative, the true negatives, the correctives in. This is a time for, okay, I want to weed out first whatever isn't true. And let's get that out of here, because if I'm going to let down my shield, I don't want to let down my shield for a lie. Right? I don't want to let the lie in. I want to get those out. So first, recognize the lies. After you've done that, then it's good to go back and remember what you've done. Remember the good things that you've done in your career and in your life, the things that have been positive, where you've helped people, um, where you've made honest efforts to do the right thing. Doesn't mean things have always worked out, but remember what you've done in a professional context. Remember your skills and abilities. Remember your skills and abilities. Go through your resume again. Think hard about the jobs you've had and the careers you've had and what you've accomplished. Yes, I did do that. I did solve that problem. I did help this company do X, Y, or Z. They were on much better footing after I left than before. Whatever it is, you have accomplishments. Bring those up. Look at those. I'm not even asking you to give them the LinkedIn treatment of embellishing them. I'm just, but be again, we want to be honest. But there are things that you have honestly done that have been beneficial and good, and skills that you have. What am I good at? Well, I am good at this. I am good at that. I do excel at this. I do have a natural gift for that. Good to bring up. Now is the time to be your own cheerleader on that. Remember what you've done. Write down a list here, and always good to have for your resume anyway, right? Your skills and abilities, write them all down. I do have this skill. I do have that ability. I have done this and this and this and this and this. And it's usually more than we realize. Life is big and complicated. Our careers are too. And remembering everything that you've done is a huge benefit and will help you get your mind back in the right direction. And maybe someone needed to go to Miracle Max and give him that pep talk. In a way, he got that. He got another shot to help someone, right? Okay, he was vindictive. He was looking for revenge, but he did get to help someone. Maybe that pulled him out of the ditch. Um, Such an amazing performance by Billy Crystal, by the way. Love that movie. But remember what you've done, okay? And then live and learn. Live and learn. So now, assessing everything as honestly as you can, it's time to realize that you have to move forward. Learn from what you've done in the past. Yes, learn from your mistakes, absolutely. But now remembering the good things, the positives, the skills and abilities that you have as well, and now go on and continue to live and learn and go forward with that learner's attitude, and maybe a little more attuned uh, to what you do bring to the table and the skills that you have, and leveraging those and leaning into those and learn how to maximize those. And you will start to feel more confident uh, in your self presentation, in any project that you end up in or position that you end up in. You will feel more confident because you have to remind yourselves of all the things that you know how to do. So continue that as you live and learn, because you're going to step into new roles and new situations where you are going to have to learn things you don't know, areas where you are weak that you do need to improve. View all that as a learning experience. You're adding to that skill set, that list you just made of what you're good at and what you can do. All these experiences, even your mistakes and even your failures, you're adding to your list of what you can do. You're building that up. And so you're just adding to your toolkit, right? Continuing to add to your toolkit. All of that becomes a very positive thing instead of a negative one, and maybe not so intimidating. It can help with imposter syndrome so that you remember and understand that you belong in this conversation or in this meeting or on that team. That when you get that opportunity, now you're not shrinking back because you're going, no, I do have all these skills and abilities. And it's a good thing to have all of that at the ready, to have it in your mind, and to have convinced yourself, to have encouraged yourself in what you're able to do. So very valuable and very important. So recognize the lies, remember what you've done, and then live and learn. Live and learn as you go. So pretty straightforward. Again, very simple subject, but very profound. These changes that we can make in our thinking can be life altering. when done consistently. But this is another situation where, yes, you do need to do it consistently. It's an everyday thing, an everyday thing, every day. Be having these habits every day, uh, weeding out lies, remembering your skills and what you bring to the table, being willing to live and learn as you go through all the next steps of your career in life. So every day, do that. Be as consistent as possible. If you fall one day, pick yourself up the next, just one day. You can be amazed at how quickly things turn around when we keep the right mindset. So, homework, inventory, inventory. Go ahead and do that inventory of your skills and abilities and what you bring to the table, tangibles, intangibles, everything that you think. And this should be a list that then you can continue to refine and continue to update every day, and correct, because there may be things too that you put on the list that you find out later you're not as strong or as good at them as you thought, and that's okay. You want to know that if that's the case, because then you can shore that up. You can strengthen yourself in that area, work on that area, and then in a year's time, it will be true that that's the strength maybe that you thought it was. But it's good to know that sometimes when we're doing the whole fake it till you make it, again, we don't necessarily make it like we thought. We just got really good at faking it, and you don't want to stay in that place. It's okay to do the fake it till you make it if that means you're doing your best while you can, and learning, and you're undergirding that to where you really are getting skillful at the thing you're supposed to be skillful at. You don't want to continue to have to fake things all the time. First of all, it's exhausting. Second of all, it's that then it gets really dishonest. And third, and because of that, it breaks trust. It breaks trust. So you don't want to do that. You can't do that. Don't do that to your team. And frankly, honesty plays so well anyway that I find it much easier to just say, I don't know how to do that, but I will learn it. I don't know the answer to that. I will find it out. I'm not sure about that. Let me go get some answers for you. Uh, Early on in my career, especially, Google was my friend, but I would be quite honest with that. It's like I put out my skills and abilities. Here they are. But at the end of the day, I'm going to research. I'm going to continue to learn. I'm going to continue to grow. And I will figure out how to I will figure out how to do what I need to do. The answers are out there, especially in this day and age. Those answers are readily available. You just have to be willing to research. You just have to be willing to research. Not It's usually not rocket science. It just takes a little diligence. So anyway, so do your inventory, make it a habit, keep it up, and use it for training yourself, but also mainly in this context for encouragement. To go back when you start to feel down, when you start to doubt, go back and look again at what you've done, what you've accomplished. Remember how far you've come already, and encourage yourself in that so you can go forward. Okay. So that's it for today. Remember, recognize the lies, remember what you've done, live and learn. And then this is all in the context of remembering who you are. Just remember who you are, the truth about who you are, and what you're able to do. It'll take you a long way. Thanks for tuning in. I want to remind you, you can find us on Rumble and YouTube and X and LinkedIn. We would love for you to find us on Locals and become part of our community there, trying to build a community so that we can have more training and encouragement going forward. Would love to see you there. Any feedback you have, any comments are always welcome. And I always appreciate everybody who takes the time to tune in. I know there's loads of content out there. So the fact that you've taken the time to watch this today, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And we will talk to you soon. Until next time, just remember,